Breaking news, Bitcoin has just had a MACD cross in the middle of the bull run. The last time that we have had, and the only time that we have had a MACD cross in the complete middle of the bull run, was right before we had the COVID crash. Right before the market dropped 73% and we had an absolute bloodbath of price action. That's the only time we had flashed a warning signal like this. So I ask you, is it possible that Bitcoin is about to have another COVID crash type absolute pandemonium happen in the Bitcoin markets? In today's video, we are going to dig into exactly this based on all of the facts we have in front of us. Let's dig into it. Breaking news, Bitcoin just flashed red on the legendary Gaussian channel. I just made an emergency video. If you're on the email list, this video is waiting for you right now. If you're not on the email list, you can sign up for free right now and immediately unlock this emergency video. Just go to cryptocrewuniversity.com. Hi, I'm Steve. I quit my job over 13 years ago, been traveling the world since, thanks to my trading and investing skills. Join me for sponsorship-free TA with genuine value that actually works. Subscribe. By the way, at the end of the video, I want to share something that completely changed my life. Here we are on the Bitcoin US dollar index, and today we are on the 18-day chart. Now, on the 2-week time frame, this cross had already happened, and there are some false signals. On this time frame, this cross literally just happened, and there are literally no false signals. So if you go and set it up on your chart, you're going to notice the histogram, this red right here, just flashed, signaling a cross of the blue line through the orange line. Now, let me just show you here. For the past almost 600 days, our blue line has been well above our orange line. And just recently, hot off the press, we had this cross through. Now, this is not typical. I'm going to take you back in time. You and I are going to go on a journey, and we're going to look at other bull runs to get an idea of what they look like. Are we having cross ups, cross down, cross up, cross down? Or is it more typical to see like this? So here we are. We're going to take our journey all the way back to the glory days of our first cycle. So our first cycle in 2010, 2011, you can see our blue line well above. And we had this cross down here representing our histogram started turning these red colors. Whenever you see the histogram turn these red colors, that's the worst of it. That's when you see a lot of downward pressure in our MACD. When it starts to turn this color, you can see it starting to even out. It's not as gruesome. It's not that big of a bloodbath anymore. And then these start to dwindle down and they turn into a cross back up, which you see heavy greens, more bullish, and you can see these lighter greens, less bullish. And you can see as we were getting closer to our market cycle top, these heavy greens here. But what you'll notice is that when we had this cross back in May 2012, you can see price action was pretty much at a standstill. We were nowhere near our prior all-time high, and we had this cross, and we went absolutely parabolic. Now, when we went parabolic, you can see the blue line in the MACD never crossed below this orange line. The entire bull market, it was well above said orange line. It was only until here when we had already topped in our market cycle that we had this cross. You can see the histogram start to turn that darker red, more bearish, and you can see the rest is history. Now, what happened was the next cycle was more the same. We had this cross up back in August 2015. Near our market cycle bottom. And from there, the only thing we remained to do was be incredibly bullish. Our blue line was dramatically above the orange line for the entirety of the bull run. You can see the MACD on this time frame. There's not these cross up, cross down, not all of these fake signals. These are all true 100% accurate signals with no false signals on this time frame. That's why it's so critical that I show you this, because hot off the press, we just had a cross. This is major breaking news that has a very specific story I need for you to understand. Now, as we continue into our next cycle and see a cross down, we had the rest as history. We bottomed here, then we had a cross up. You can see the only time in history that we had a cross down in the middle of the bull run was here in 2019. That's the only time that we had this cross. You can see right in front of your eyes. We had this cross up, market got very bullish. We went to 14K. If you followed my channel back in 2019, we printed a gravestone doji candle on a weekly time frame back here at the 14K top. Right? When we did that, we put out a video and we're like, hey, this is a gravestone doji candle. This is a trend reversal candle. By definition, it's found at the top of the rally. It spells disaster. And that's what led to the COVID crash. But in the middle of that, we had this MACD cross on the 18-day chart, which told us, hey, this is deep trouble. Right? This typically only happens at the tops of markets. This was the first time where it happened in the middle. And it only happened because we were far overextended to the upside in the beginning of the bull run, and we needed to course correct, and the market still hadn't double bottom. We had our first bottom here, and we didn't double bottom until after the COVID crash, right? So this was about a 73% plummet from top to bottom, MACD cross in the middle, spelling disaster. And here's what happened, right? We had this MACD cross happen here. Then we saw prices actually skyrocket. However, they did not take out the prior swing high. The prior swing high was here, and we actually had a double top. The double top is what's considered to be a trend reversal, and boy, did it ever. It trend reversal down. So what you see happen in markets is if we don't take out the prior swing high, we take out that swing low. So you can see it here. We had this high, it's a swing high here. We didn't go higher high than that. We got rejected, so we took out the previous swing low, which is here, and the market went even lower. That's what we don't want to happen, but I need to get you to understand these specific pieces of evidence right in front of your eyes. For example, market structure is everything. As soon as we had these candles here, these took out the prior swing highs and held support at the prior swing high. This is what's called a power play. This is the best time to invest just based on pure market structure, no speculation, no guesswork, just pure facts. Whenever we have resistance and we take it out and we get higher and then we hold what used to be our resistance as support, it's what I call a power play. It's the best time to buy these two candles right here, and you can see what happened after that, right? This will happen on any time frame. You can literally look at any time frame for this exact type of market structure I just described. This will make you a lot of money and save you even more. Breaking news: Bitcoin just flashed red on the legendary Gaussian channel. I just made an emergency video. If you're on the email list, this video is waiting for you right now. If you're not on the email list, you can sign up for free right now and immediately unlock this emergency video. Just go to cryptocrewuniversity.com, right? So what you see happening is we had this cross down. We had a rally. The rally did not take out the swing high, so it took out the swing low, and we went even lower, top to bottom, 73%. And then the market had double bottomed. Then the market was happy. We course corrected, built some market structure, and the rest was history. And then again, the only time we cross down really are at the market cycle tops outside of the data point of the COVID crash. So here we are. Right? We just had the cross here. And by the way, all I want for Christmas is, do you guys remember I showed you the 12-day MACD cross? And the only thing I wanted for Christmas in 2022 was that MACD cross telling us that the bottom was in. And that's exactly what we got 1 month before Christmas. We actually got it in November on the 12-day chart. So we still have that here as a little memory. I'm sure you remember that time. We sounded a little bit crazy that we said the bottom was in, but in retrospect, it seems pretty obvious now, right? I know everybody told me I was absolutely crazy, but here we are. So the past almost 600 days, it's been business as usual. Blue line on top. Whenever the blue line is on top in the MACD, it's bullish. Plain and simple. So we were in the bull run and we were looking good the whole time up until just hot off the press having this cross. So what does this mean? We already know that having this cross, it's not like there are a bunch of false signals where we have a false signal cross down and a cross back up in a couple of weeks and then a cross back. It doesn't happen that way. We know that these crosses are very rare And when they do, they hold significant weight. We know that. These are facts. Now, let's take a look at it. What we can see happening here, and by the way, looking at this time frame, the 18-day, look at this market structure that we have in front of our eyes. It's a thing of beauty, right? What we have on our side is this huge candle that just printed here. This is almost a Dragonfly Doji textbook. I do not like this upside wick here. If this were a little bit smaller, it would literally be a textbook Dragonfly Doji, which is the opposite of the Gravestone Doji. Dragonfly Doji is a trend reversal to the upside. In other words, Bitcoin has held its market structure for all of this time and then had this long wick with the body printing as support. This tells us that momentum is going to be into the market for some time going forward, just based on this price action. So this could be short-lived, we will see. But once again, I remind you that during the COVID crash, we did have a pretty hefty bounce in price action from roughly 6,004 to almost 10,000. It was a pretty huge bump, but it did not take out the prior swing high. So what do we need to happen for this one? Our prior swing high is here, roughly above 70K. We need our momentum in the market in the coming weeks to get above 70K. If we do, things are looking pretty good, and we could be finished with the downtrend that we've had for about 175 days. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. But looking at the candles here, if you didn't tell me the time frame, you didn't tell me what this was for, you just gave me this chart and I studied it, looking at it structurally, we're looking pretty good. And there's no way around it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you have a hold of market structure, you can see what happened here with a medium-sized wick. We had all this momentum to the upside. Then you can see what happened here with even a bigger wick. We had more momentum to the upside. Now we have even a larger wick to the downside. One would say, oh, a large wick to the downside is bad. No, this is momentum to the upside. It means that this price went way down here, but then it was bought up, and it was bought up here, 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 here to push prices all the way up. Whenever you're buying up prices from the bottom all the way up, that's literally momentum. And this is on a higher time frame. So again, this is pretty hot off the press. I didn't study this chart before I put it on. I didn't even look at price action. I was looking purely at the MACD. So this is me just interpreting the chart kind of live with you as I'm filming this. And I must say it looks pretty good. Now, with that said, the only thing we needed to do is take out that swing high of 70. And as I showed you earlier in the week, we do have a weekly stochastic RSI, which is going to try to flip the 2-week back to positive. We're going to try to break through that downtrending line of the RSI and potentially battle that top range of price action. But it really boils down to 70. That's the only price action I want you to watch is 70,000. Quite literally, we need Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks to take out 70K, and that would be remarkably bullish for the market. Now, if it doesn't, and we battle up potentially to 66, 67, 68, 69. None of those numbers are 70. They're all irrelevant. It doesn't matter if we get close and we try really hard. It doesn't matter. We've got to take out this swing high, or Bitcoin will take out this swing low. It really is that simple. So that's what we're looking at in the charts, but this is remarkably noteworthy that we had this MACD cross, and hopefully it's the only false signal that we have in the history of Bitcoin, but time's going to tell. We're going to come back to this chart in a couple weeks and do a quick update of this, because this is incredibly important, and I'm very curious about how this candle is going to impact. We should be seeing price action battle this $70,000 area, and it's only a matter of weeks according to the chart. So let's see. Something's got to give. Things are going to be very interesting over the coming weeks. Earlier I mentioned I want to share something that completely changed my life, and then I want to give even more knowledge of what I'm doing. So as I mentioned, over the past couple of years, I do 1 meal per day. I know that connected with so many of you, so I want to take it to the next level and tell you other things I'm doing on top of just intermittent fasting, because I know a lot of you connect with intermittent fasting or 1 meal per day. A lot of you started doing it after you heard me talk about it. A lot of you were already doing it when you heard me talk about it. So it connected with just a huge part of our community. Let me take it a step further, because there's a lot of things I'm doing along that path that have really helped me. Now, let me be clear from the beginning. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to do it my way, which is how I do my whole life. I don't care what other people are doing. I try to do only what I want to do in my way, which usually is completely different than the high majority of people. Whatever they're doing, you can bet all of the money you have to your name that Steve is doing very close to the opposite of them. So let me break it down. So the 1 meal a day I started doing years ago. I lost 35 pounds in the first kind of like 6 to 8 months. And then for the past few years, I've just remained at that weight, which is ridiculous because I'm at the weight I was when I was like 17 or 18 years old. So I've just stayed at that weight for the past couple of years. Other things I've done, oral health. I started focusing on my oral health like 8 or 9 or 10 years ago. I remember going to the dentist as a kid, and the dentist would be like, "Oh, are you flossing?" And I would be like, "Flossing? Like, are you a loser? No, that takes way too much time, and that sounds ridiculous." So I didn't focus on oral health until I was, unfortunately, until I was older. I've been doing flossing every day. I also had Invisalign, so that was an investment of like a year and a half, getting my oral health right. What I've learned with studying the human body and studying a lot of business folks, which is where I learned about 1 meal a day, is really the oral health is like the center of the body. And if you want to be wealthy, you better get your oral health and your physical health right. If you don't, then you're going to be wealthy and then have all of this turmoil in your life, and you're not going to be able to enjoy it. So oral health to me, very important. Every night, it's a really detailed, regimented, a lot of different steps, but it takes a little bit of time. But again, it's an investment that's been paying off ever since. Another thing I do is monitor my sleep. I have this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. This is not an ad of any sort. I've never taken paid ads. I've never taken money for anything. I usually never promote anything. I don't even know why I'm going to tell you this, but maybe I won't tell you what it is or the brand. I'll just tell you the concept, and then you can figure it out for yourself, because I don't want anything even to be remotely could be construed as a paid thing. So I study my sleep with this thing, and sleep is arguably the most important attribute of your overall health, even more than oral health. Sleep is everything. So I monitor my sleep, and this monitors my heart rate, resting heart rate, activities, et cetera, et cetera. By naming all of these things, you probably know what this is. But again, I'm not going to say it. This is going to be no ad. But that is another cool thing that I'm doing for my health. Again, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm doing life under my rules, which is how I've gotten to this point. So I am definitely not trying to be perfect. For example, I need to reward myself. I don't know if you guys do this, but I do 1 meal a day. Some people eat like a lot of food for like 4, 6, or 8 hours, and then they call that 1 meal a day. I literally do 1 meal a day, and 3 times per week, I allow myself a snack. So that could be a Snickers bar, some ridiculous food. And you guys are probably saying, "Oh my God, Steve, that's bad." I'm not trying to be perfect. I don't care about that. I'm living life how I want to live, and I don't care about anybody else's opinion. So I'm sorry if that offends you, but I'll eat some chips, I'll eat Doritos, whatever. I don't care. 3 times per week, I allow myself this, go crazy mode. So another thing I do, like stretching every day, affirmations every day. I try to do meditation every day. Other things like this are remarkably, incredibly beneficial to the human body. So I just wanted to let you in on a couple other things I'm doing outside of the 1 meal a day, because I know so many of you are like, "Oh my God, I either already do this 1 meal a day or I started it and it's incredible." So I wanted to add some stuff to that you could potentially take and put in your routine. Specifically, I would recommend the sleep monitoring. Really, some people are like, "Well, I think I slept 7 hours, whatever it is. You don't know until you actually monitor it, because some of that time you're awake and some of that time you're not in REM sleep. You need to monitor what kind of sleep you're getting, what is the quality. And then the other thing is the oral health. If you leave this video with 2 things, it would be oral health and monitoring your sleep. That can take that 1 meal a day or the intermittent fasting to the next level. And then you add in affirmations, you add in meditation, and it's going to be unfair, the competitive advantage you have over every other human on planet Earth. Mark my words. So I wanted to leave you with that. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you right back here in the next video. This bull run is our road to 500,000 subscribers, but I need your help. Today, tell one person about our YouTube channel, how we spit facts, go against the herd, take no paid sponsorships of any kind. Road to 500,000, let's go.